Welcome to the new installment of Title Still Pending, where I will talk, reminisce, or review any game I have played where maybe not many people did and shed some light on them. Of course, everyone recognizes what we're going to be talking about when you hear this. Yes, it's the Gray Bunny and the Gang. Looney Tunes has been in almost every media imaginable, from comics, apparel, movies, and of course, video games. Looney Tunes have multiple games in their arsenal, some memorable, some worth making videos about. One game in particular is so memorable to me that it is the discussion of today's video. It starts the Wascally Wabbit himself, Bugs Bunny and Bugs Bunny Lost in Time. But then you ask yourself, why are you talking about this game when you are Sengoku freak? You're supposed to be talking about Japanese stuff. Well, the game is not Japanese related, but it was made on a console of a Japanese company, so it still works. Also, I make the videos, so I make the rules. The game was developed by, however the hell you want to pronounce that, and published by Infogrames in May 31st, 1999. I'm sensing a pattern here. Anyways, the game is a platformer collectathon, like most notable games in that generation, like Spyro the Dragon, Crash Bandicoot, Ass Cancer. So Bugs did not take that left turn at Albuquerque and wound up in a farm where there is a time machine that is conveniently put there. One theory that I'm putting out there is that the farm that Bugs went to is Doc Brown's farm from Back to the Future 3, and the time machine is basically the DeLorean's engine with the flux capacitor. How would you explain the damn time machine then? Bugs mistakes the machine for a carrot dispenser, activates it, and sends him back in time. Bugs traveled to a place called Nowhere, home of the wizard Merlin. You see, Merlin was a mischievous wizard that annoyed Bugs in the episode Nightmare Hair, and appeared only in that episode. In this game, he acts as the saving system, as well as providing Bugs Bunny with useful tips and even teaching you new abilities. So it is fun to see non-utilized characters appear in other medias. He explains to Bugs that he is lost in time, hence the name of the fucking game. He tells Bugs to gather 10 golden carrots to collect a clock, the main collectible of the game. After providing the 10 golden carrots in Nowhere, which were cleverly distributed between the level as a tutorial for the player to learn the game's mechanic and controls, Bugs Bunny takes the clock and heads to the Stone Age on his quest to return to the present. The game focuses on you collecting the main collectibles in order to advance in the story. The game is divided into 5 timelines. The Stone Age, where we get to encounter a Neanderthal Elmer Fudd. The Medieval period, with knights and dragons, and home of both Witch Hazel and What? Merlin Monroe? Wait, I need to check this out. Holy shit, that's actually his name? And he is on the list now. What was I doing? Oh yeah, the game. The next timeline is the pirate years, infiltrating the pirate's ship and hideout, which is led by Captain Yosemite Sam. The 1930s, halting the heist of mobsters Rocky and Muggsy. Dimension X, stopping Marvin the Martian from mutating a giant carrot or something. I don't know, I stopped caring about what their evil plans at this point because I will beat them up anyways. We can also meet up with other wacky characters from the Looney Tunes show, such as Daffy Duck and Daffy Duck and Daffy Duck. Actually, Daffy is the most used character in this game, and you will see him frequently. But we see other side characters like Beaky Buzzard, Toro the Bull, and these fucking broccoli anuses. I would have loved to see more characters show up in this game, but I think they want the focus to be on bugs. Each timeline is divided into small levels with a nicely made hub world for each timeline. Since it's a platformer collectathon, what needs to be collected? Well, as I said before, bugs need to collect the clocks that are scattered around the different levels. Once you get enough clocks, a new level will be available in a different timeline, which gives the game a fun time travel-esque feel to it. Certain levels are unlocked by collecting the golden carrots. They are more available than the clocks, and getting them can help you in unlocking the golden carrot levels, which helps you get more clocks to unlock more levels. One neat detail that I love is that every level has its own title card, as if it's part of the show. Actually, some of the levels are carbon copies of certain episodes, such as the rabbit duck season and the bullfighting levels. Though they're not full-fledged levels, but can act as minigames or boss levels. Some levels mimic the structure of the episode to the point of starting with a gag similar to it in the show, to remind you that even though they are in different timelines, bugs can still be their asses. Even the ending reminds me of an episode, which I won't spoil it for you, but if you've seen the Merlin episode, you should have a hint at what it is. The levels look amazing with vibrant colors and expansive backgrounds, giving you a sense of how big the world is. Each level has more than one section, and some of them even have different sceneries. One level comes to mind is the What's Cookin' dock, where you start out in a courtyard and then go to a hidden forest where Merlin lives, as well as a dungeon, a lava-filled trap, even walking above the castle walls avoiding dragons and cannons. Having a level this massive is fun, except when you need to find the red Acme boxes and requires you to backtrack the entire level just to find them. Bugs Bunny controls as how a platformer character is played. He can jump, roll, crouch, and kick, as well as make his ears work as helicopter propellers to glide slowly to the ground on more sensitive platforms. Bugs Bunny can also gently walk to not wake up sleeping enemies, as well as walk on those sensitive platforms. Since he's a rabbit, he can enter through rabbit holes where he can access certain parts of the levels. This is how you enter and leave levels. I love to make Bugs dive and there's no rabbit hole just to see this. Bugs has 6 health pieces displayed as 3 carrots. Every damage chips half of the carrot and can be healed by gathering the normal carrots that can be found everywhere in the level. Once his health is full, any carrot that he collects counts as a currency to get a golden carrot located in the hub world. As you play the game, Bugs meets up with Merlin and can learn new power-ups along the way. You have the super jump, Ollie Ollie Oxenfree, where you are catapulted into the air to reach high vertical parts of the level. The music ability, the Endearing Young Charms note, lets you open sections in the level and even let Bucky Buzzard grab Bugs to eat him later. Just kidding. The hover ability, Hocus Pocus, brings up propellers for Bugs to hover on. Though this ability is useless in my opinion, as you already have the Ollie Ollie Oxenfree, where you need to get to higher places. And the last power-up, Open Sesame, just opens certain sections of the game, same as how the Endearing Young Charms note did. The last 2 abilities didn't need to exist, but I think the devs want the player to face some roadblocks until they get the last 2 abilities. The enemies in this game are henchmen filler, who change their appearance in every timeline, which is nice to see. All small enemies are killed by stomping on their heads, breaking every bone imaginable, and kicking them away like my responsibilities. Bigger enemies need more strategy to beat them. When I say strategy, I mean walk in a circle until they're out of breath and then go beat that ass. Aside from the normal filler, we are occasionally met up with Muggsy, Witch Hazel, and even Daffy. Though these guys don't die off completely, they serve as a nice change of pace from the normal enemies. Oh, just because I am fond of this game doesn't mean that it doesn't have any flaws. The game is super easy for the most part, and the levels are not all challenging. I mean, look at this. I want to go get that Acme box and it's at the other place. Instead of me traversing through the section to get the box, you would think that jumping in the lava means that we are serving a roasted rabbit. But no, I can simply jump in the lava and use the jumping arc from the damage a couple of times and then reach the box, breaking it and getting more health. Also, there are no game overs as you have infinite lives and retries. I know that the game was intended for kids and that they want to make it more enjoyable for them, but we already have games with a little bit more challenge and still can be targeted for kids. This makes the game a series of trial and error sections where you eventually pass over, except for the last levels of Dimension X. The Planet X file level and the Train Your Brain level, which has the title card of the Space Speedway, where the game does not get difficult but fucking annoying. First, let's talk about the first one, where you need to navigate the narrow corridors of this already unappealing level. Yeah, I understand this is an homage to the Marvin episode, but it's only black and it feels empty of life. Kind of a metaphor, I think. You walk around only to reach these two pieces of shit. The Martians count as a roadblock in the game and they fucking push you to oblivion. They are not the reason as to why I hate them. We'll get there in a second. My issue is with this fucking robot. The robot has a freezing gun that freezes anyone it touches. Now you freeze the Martians and finish them off Sub-Zero style to progress. But when you are frozen, not only do you take damage, but if the robot grabs you, he throws you in this trash chute that sends you to the beginning of the fucking level. It is not a big deal in the first encounter, but as you get through the level and reach the disappearing platforms, the electric traps, and trying to open more segments of the level, the later parts are one of the most frustrating things in the game. If you are grabbed by the fucking IRS on wheels, you need to go all the way back with the shitty platforms and avoid the earlier robots. It's only at the later part of the level where you get to control one of them to destroy the robots, and it is oh so satisfying. The second shitstorm is with Train Your Brain, that has fun puzzle-like minigames that you need to finish to progress the level. My problem is with the last puzzle, the Acme Mind. What the actual hell was I supposed to do in this? You need to predict the 4 colors that the mind is hiding in order, and you have a set number of chances. At first, I thought if finding one color means that you need to keep trying until the others eventually show up. You can see here that I found all the colors, but they were not in the same row that I found them, and was zapped. Nobody told me that it has to be in the same row. I thought you get to find them and that's it. Another thing, that the colors change every time you fail, and there are like 8 colors and only 6 tries in this puzzle for each column. You only have 24 slots before getting zapped, which makes it a game of probability. Finally, after finishing this, we reach this place. The fucking scooter race. What more can I say about this shit? The controls are super sensitive, and each part of the race ends in a pole that you need to grab onto to reach the next part. How you reach the next part is by letting go and trying to land on the track while you're spinning in a circular motion. You have to precisely leap while trying to fight the controls in order to land. I failed so much in this that it is so nerve-wracking. And it's a race, so you can't take your sweet time, otherwise you have to repeat this shit all over again. Falling off doesn't put you on the race like other racing games or segments. No. You get to repeat this from the very fucking beginning. No wonder that this game doesn't have any lives, because I will fucking lose them all here. Oh, and the funny thing is that this is the last level in the game. So I think that the final boss of the game is my patience! Oh, the bosses are a joke, as you need to hit them like 3 or 4 times and don't change their patterns at all. If by some chance you died in the boss stage, don't worry, as the game will not replenish the boss's health and reset the fight. No, the game will keep the boss's health as is and doesn't change the strategy at all. I even reached a point where I entered a level that I missed a clock in with a boss at the end of it and was able to speed up the boss fight without breaking a sweat. Like I said, there is no final boss in the game, and the last actual boss is in the Carrot Factory level with Rocky and Muggsy at the end, but you have to traverse this unpleasantly mess of a level. I got lost in this level so many times just trying to find the exit to fight the boss. Not a fun level in my opinion. Now, do I hate the game? No, I fucking love it. Even with my nitpicks and those annoying last levels, it's still my best Looney Tunes game ever. The gameplay is super addictive, the levels are fun, and overall a very fun and simple platformer. Even the devs themselves have a lot of fun making the game. If you haven't played this game yet, I highly recommend you play it as soon as you can.